We are so sorry for starting a little bit behind schedule due to some technical problems which has just been restored. This is Business and Economy with a focus on need to ensuring national integration and unity as a catalyst to effective economic sustainability. I am Ile Imeje, your host. Every nation of the world hopes for quick social, economic, cultural and technological advancement which is dependent on a variety of natural factors. These factors include quality democratic leadership, citizen patriotism, national consciousness, science and technology, rational application of available natural and human resources, self-will, and above all, harmonious and peaceful coexistence among all ethnic groups that are all important factors in Nigeria's development as one indivisible nation. In Nigeria, the current situation suggests that the journey thus far has left much to be desired, and national integration has become a non-issue in national debate. As a result of this perceived social distortion, many regions have called for secession, while others have advocated for restructuring and true federalism. And so on today's edition of the program, a business analyst, Mr. Victor Prince Dickson, is joining us after the business news to take a look at the need to maintaining that true integration that will be ushered in by a sincere and intentional commitment among Nigeria's numerous people to truthful living and peaceful cohabitation in a progressive nation, working toward long-term development for the sake of current and future generations. Stay with us. In what can be described as an appreciation to God for a successful completion of a phase in their educational pursuit at the Faith Academy Goshen, some Nigerian parents have acknowledged that without education, there cannot be a significant development of nations.
As parents, we owe a duty to train our children. Whatever it will cost, is better to train them than to just allow them to do whatever they want. Because education now is like a culture, training them to be what they ought to be.
Without education, there is no development. Without education, you won't get the right ideas to move the nation forward. Without education, you see that there will be no much growth in the environment, and that is why we encourage our children day in, day out to go further in their studies, because it will expand their horizon, it will make them to know better.
While wishing their children the best in their career journey, they say their joy know no bounds.
It is a day of joy. It is a day we've all been waiting for, and we have come to rejoice with him because we give God the glory.
When this baby was born, he did not know A and B, but as I'm talking today, he has known so much globally, and we are super proud of him, and we are grateful to God again.
We are here to thank God for his guidance, his protection. Seeing him from primary 4, he came to GS1, and today we are celebrating his graduation. We are thanking God for his hard work. He's very hardworking, he's intelligent, and he's a quiet achiever.
Some of the graduating students, including Mr. Paul Edino Justice, also ascribed all thanks to God for the journey so far.
Today is my graduation. It feels amazing and wonderful because going through this school from JS1 to SS3, it has been a very big experience for me. Seeing myself graduate today, it gives me a feeling of happiness. It makes me look back at all the memories, all the struggles, what it took me, the sleepless nights to get here. It gives me a feeling of contentment, and I'm really happy about it.
While celebrating the graduating students at all levels of education, we are hopeful that the knowledge and skills acquired will be impactful on the nation's economy. Ile Imeje, ASO Television News. Our guest, Mr. Victor Prince Dickson, is already here in our studio and will be making an analysis on the need for effective unity of the country towards an adequate growth of the nation's economy. Mr. Victor, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
All right. How do you enjoy the rain?
Yeah, the rain is nice, but for me, I think the most beautiful thing is the scenery, the beauty of the Katampe Hills, just being in the studio is beautiful.
All right. Economic experts have argued that no nation can develop under the atmosphere of chaos. How true is this?
No, there's no truth, there's no doubt about that. The truth and chaos is what you call the consequence of confusion. Confusion is a conflict of direction. So when people have that conflict of direction, conflict of interest, conflict of goals and vision, naturally everywhere is going to be disturbed. And if everywhere is disturbed, who is going to have the time to create, to innovate, to organize, to structure, to build things that will make life better? So naturally, when there is chaos and confusion, there's usually that problem of achieving greatness. However, most times when you have confusion, is the beginning of something new. It's the end of an old and the beginning of a new. So it's like a struggle between what should be and what is. So if you study and sit down and do our homework, we can make the best of this confusion and chaos and build a better nation that will come out of it.
So given the current situation in Nigeria, can we say this is the beginning of a new era?
For me, I would tell you, this is...
People are calling for one thing, secession, negotiation, cutting away, and a lot of them.
Yes.
Can we say that this is all an attempt to enter into a new era of economic growth?
I can tell you without fear of favor, this is the first time we're about building Nigeria. Before now, we didn't have a Nigeria. Yes.
How do you mean?
Go to your history very well. First of all, 1914, most people say amalgamation. If you do your homework about amalgamation, you notice that the background to amalgamation is what they call the UAE. UAE was introduced as an organization to do business in what eventually you call the Niger Dog Company. Eventually that does business in the African area. So when you go to the Berlin conference, they now shared and said, okay, a particular area belongs to some business people. And those business people are the people that have what you call the Northern Protectorate, the Southern Protectorate. So in trying to organize their business into one organization, that was what gave birth to 1914 amalgamation. So in context, it simply means the Nigeria didn't start. It was a business people that just set that up, and then they appointed Lord Lugard to supervise it. Then going forward from 1914, we go to 1960, where we start agitating that there's a need for us to be self-independent. And that's where the discussion has begun. It is that discussion that is maturing to this quest of everything needs to get it right. And that's why we're struggling. But then the question is, if we listen very well, if we're able to hear sights and we know why people are having pains, then you understand where Nigeria is heading to. That's why I said Nigeria really has not been built. Because if the real Nigeria is built, you'll see the most beautiful nation in the world.
Are you trying to confirm the fact that some persons or some Nigerians have come up to take a closer look at the state of the nation today, suggesting that the country is polarized along religion and tribal cleavages, and this is likely to affect our very foundation as a nation as well as our economy? You gave a brief history, and if I may ask, how we got to this level over the years? You started by analyzing the issue at 1914 to 1960, and today we are in 2025. So all those years put together, we have been
we are trying to understand
discussion. Like are you saying we have been on discussion? Or
yeah, we have been on the discussion, but discussion has not been smooth. Okay, first of all, you need to understand this. You know, in my title, you see human engineer, right?
Yeah.
What did I learn in the process? I've been in business consultancy for over a decade. But in the process of doing business, I learned one of the greatest secrets of life, which is that every business will stand and fail based on the owner of the business. Based on their mindset, based on their belief system, based on how they behave. That's how business feels. So that was why I started learning on human nature. How do people behave? How do you build belief systems? How do you build relationships? Perception and all of that.
Confidence.
Then you have to understand, yes, you need to understand that God creates, but the society manufactures. Now you have to look at the fact that it is a society that makes a Nigerian. Every single Nigerian you know now has been made through the story of the civil war, the story of coup, the story of election, all those things. All those things. It wasn't transformation. They were just history because we are not very intentional. I'll explain to you why we are not very intentional. We moved. There's no quarrel. We moved, but we have not formed to what you call a nation. So in the meaning of we have not been transformed yet. We are in the process of being transformed. If we are, transformation is a consequence. How do you know a person is transformed? You see, the person believes things differently.
We moved from 1914 to 1960.
You are counting the years. You are counting the years. You are not counting the benefit. Yes, that's what I'm saying. No. You're not counting what the person became. You're counting, based on this number of years, we should have gotten it right. Let me tell how you know we got it right. If we get it right, we'll be more at peace with each other. If you get it right, our misunderstanding can be handled without us destroying each other. If you get it right, we will agree that there are differences, but also will agree there are commonalities. So while we understand the differences, we'll also celebrate the thing that makes me and you together. Do you understand?
I'll have to add to you that if we get it right, regional disintegration and
problem. It will now be a collaboration and partnership. That's why I say we have not gotten it well. Immediately we get it well, everybody in Nigeria will see a nation that is so beautiful in terms of people, beautiful in terms of natural resources, beautiful in terms of positioning generally. I'll tell you this, one of the biggest problems with Nigeria is that Nigerians are not in good terms with Nigeria.
How do you mean?
Okay.
The people are not in good terms with their country,
yes,
with the land.
Japa is one of the examples that will make you know they are not. One of the reasons, how many people have you talked to and they tell you forget the country, there's no hope? How many people have you talked to say this country, it will break very soon? How many people have you talked to? You don't, even in marriage, nobody speak evil of marriage like that. Do you understand? If you believe in a process, you can only speak good about it. That does not mean that you can come and say, look, I have pains, I have injuries, I've been disappointed. The government maybe didn't do too well here, but private people too didn't do too well. I, as a Nigeria, I did not contribute to very well. We can pick that area and improve it, but you won't get to the point of forget Nigeria, stupid country, doesn't have future, won't go anywhere. Nigeria will just mess up. You need to hear words like that. You know that somebody has lost the belief in their country, and so if they say destroy it, it's easier to destroy. Anytime you see anybody have that capacity and willingness to destroy Nigeria, it's because you have lost that confidence and hope that the country can be better. So personally for me, one of the drive I'm out now is to see how to bring Nigerians and Nigeria together. And I'll tell you one of the damaging things that happens to us.
And what is it?
You see, if you follow education is one of the basic reasons why we are where we are today, right? Now I'll explain. The most popular curriculum you have in Nigeria, most people talk on the average, are based on private schools. And they have international curriculum. Then if a Nigerian child from 3 years old to 10, 12 years old is introduced to Abraham Lincoln, is introduced to the fight of how America built their city, the first innovation is about the US, the first thing that ever worked is about Britain, and the person knows nothing about Tafawa Balewa, knows nothing about Azik, knows nothing about Awu, don't understand how countries, as a country, Nigeria can fight to become better. Before that child is 12 years old, what do you think has happened? You have taken Nigeria out of the child. What the child sees is only that the best thing that can happen to me, my destiny, is in the US, is in Canada, in Britain. So that's why whatever, Jackpot didn't start today. Jackpot is for a very long time. Young people have lost a picture because you must have a vision. Even if you're talking about leadership, people must be able to see this is where we are heading to. There may be challenges, but this is where we are heading to. It's easy to stay when there are challenges. Or when you don't see, I can ask you, challenge anybody, tell me the Nigerian dream. If I ask you, can you tell me the Nigerian dream? We've not qualified it. We have not painted a picture for a young person to see that based on this, it might be rough today, but here it's going to get better. Go check any nation that is doing well. Their strength is the vision. Then it is the vision that they use to evaluate what they call manifesto when someone comes to lead. Because I know where I'm heading to. When someone tells you, for instance, somebody comes, I'm going to give you 200,000 jobs per year, as against the fact that 3.5 million young people come into the job market every year. So when you hear that manifesto, you balance, you realize it's not going to work. But when we talk manifesto, personalities in politics and the rest today, we don't say it against the vision because we are not yet clean and clear of exactly what the vision is. When there's a vision, you see most of the people that are fighting for breakaway, they will know their place in the vision. They will know their benefit in the vision. They will know how they can leverage on the country in the vision. That way, why are you crying? You won't fight. We're going to make peace. We'll ask for collaboration. We'll agree we have our mistakes, our bad and ugly, but we also celebrate our good. And that's why personally I have it as a principle that however you criticize Nigeria, if you cannot celebrate the good things about us, then you're not criticizing Nigeria. You mean something else, then you have a problem.
Okay.
Because as far as I'm concerned, you must be able to say, this is our bad, this is our ugly, but this is our good. Then I will take the lessons you have spoken of, and then I know how to work with the good. I can celebrate it. But anybody that cannot celebrate the good of Nigeria and consistently is telling you Nigeria is a bad country, Nigeria has no future, Nigeria, no, then you don't know that something is
now
wrong.
you are talking about orientation or reorientation.
That is where everything is heading back to.
Yes, talking about manifesto, and you are talking about the vision as well as the curriculum, where we got it wrong, ab initio. Now, what do you think should be the major strategies to bring all hands on board in uniting the nation for a better economy?
Education. See, business depends on education. All problems on earth is a problem of knowledge. Any problem you have is because you are ignorant about that problem. All problem on earth, no exception. And when I say education, I don't mean the kind of regurgitating education that we have now, which is I memorize and I come and explain. No, that's not education. Real education is based on intelligence, because there's a difference between knowledge and intelligence. Knowledge is about you have data, plenty certificate, but when problem comes to you, you don't know what to do.
Like some people say you don't have certificate.
That's the meaning. That's actually intelligence is, I might not have gone to all the school in the world, but when problem come, I know what to do. Go check our parents. That was their strength.
Native intelligence.
What are you talking? Because I do a lot of cognitive intelligence. I teach epigenetics and anything that has to do with the human mind. You think in the language of your mother. You don't think in English. Because your brain need to understand things in local dialect to be able to understand it first before you can now convert it to English. Fine. So if you are not intelligent to look at, we have 200 and something million people in Nigeria. How many male? How many female? If I produce food, how many people consume? How many people have the capacity to consume this food? Where do I position? Where do I stand? Well, if you can't process that thing, the whole country will be looking as if it's a mirage and the rest of them. And that's why most Nigerians are moving. Are you not realizing most people who are not Nigerians are coming to Nigeria and taking advantage of Nigeria?
It's not an irony.
And that's the issue.
Nigerians are moving out,
but and they are telling you the country is a failed state. And they are telling you the country is a failed state.
How can we say the equilibrium?
Because there's something those people know we don't know. That's when knowledge comes to play. There's something they know we don't know.
As an expert on this field, what strategies do you think we can put? You say education?
Education, nothing.
At all level, or be getting them young from this crash.
Okay, fine. You see, if you're building, problem solving has what they call basic problem, complex problem, and wicked problem. And now, if you structure
complex and wicked,
yes, yes, they are wicked problem. Okay. Wicked problem is when the person that's supposed to solve the problem is the problem. That's a wicked problem. So in that kind of situation, there's nothing you can do. For example, you're a mother. You're supposed to take care of your children. So you are the solution to the safety of the children. Then you are the one irresponsible. So what do we do?
It's a big problem.
Now you understand why it's called wicked problem. So the problem we are saving here now is that Nigerians are not putting the energy, the faith, the hope, the skill, the competence, the strategy to build Nigeria. That's why it looks as if Nigeria is confused. So at the end of the day, one of our biggest challenges, if you develop Nigeria in terms of road, but Nigerians are not developed mentally, they destroy what you've done. You set a new road, you put a new rail, they will steal it. You put a new bus, they will steal it.
What can we do to help this situation?
You see, that's why I said everything has to come back to education. You have to build a new set of Nigerians, but you have to build it in levels. Young people build it from when they are young, but there are people who are already old. So you have to look for a way also to connect with them. Yes, what to connect to that old people. For instance, I'm into gaming and gamification, and gaming is one of the most strategic way of helping people learn, even adults, because everybody can play and relax. Now, even through games, you can bring national orientation through games, so that people are learning and able to realize their behavior is the one stopping the country from. You see, all this is the economy. All of them don't mean big deal. I can tell you why. I'm a business consultant. One of the biggest challenges people have in business is trust. I know you have heard that. Trust. Give people money, blows. Do a business, bring people in, money goes. Do a partnership, money goes. Loan goes. And go check anywhere in the world, the number one precursor for successful business is trust and character. The reason why Japan is at the top of the employability list in the world is Japan people are straightforward like iron. their words are their bond, so they don't need collateral. If a Japan man tells you, you see this loan, this is what we're working, go sleep, you will get it.
And for us,
But for I'm not the one that will explain. I'm not the one that will explain.
Okay, apart from the manifesto and then getting it wrong with our vision, a lot of people have also expressed concern on marginalization. You know, some Nigerians have expressed concern of being marginalized from governance, which had led to serious agitation for breakaway, like the IPOP from the southeast, the OPC from the southwest, and the Egbensu from the south-south. How do we address these various agitators in order for us to have an indivisible one Nigeria that can hasten the country's economic and national development? Because where a people are divided, it's very difficult for us to have one goal of economic development that we can pursue and achieve it.
I agree with you. I'm an expert in problem solving. You see, there is organic problem solving, there is synthetic problem solving.
You have got to.
I will explain. But you see, these are the principles that build any nation you see. Fine. Organic problem is build something that is natural. When you're solving
localize
localize it so it makes sense. Synthetic is that let's just polish it and look as if we are trying to solve it, but really not solving. In a situation where there is no clarity of vision, in a situation where most people feel that they are like in a jungle, lion eat jungle, everybody eat anybody, in that kind of situation, what do you expect? Agitation is a consequence. Agitation will happen because there is no clarity of plan. There is no what you call meritocracy in the system. I get to know that, oh, you're good, but suddenly because I know your tribe, suddenly you don't have access to that office again. What do you expect will happen? Naturally, these things will happen. So we have to come back organically. One of these days, I had an opportunity to do some training for people in the civil service, and they were discussing leadership. And one of the core things I made emphasis on: look, every country survive in what they call the goodness of the people. What's the goodness of the people? You met me, you think I have something to offer. You don't care about my tribe. You simply say, please come. Let's share what you have to offer.
The Nigerian.
That's what I'm saying. You see, that's the Nigerian goal. At that level, I will not quarrel with you that I'm from Akwa Ibom State. No, now I don't have issues to quarrel with you because my religion is different. Religion are just excuses people used to be wicked. Based on the anatomy of wickedness, every weak person needs an excuse to show wickedness. So if you teach people to be very organic, to be good, are we forgetting that in this same country we call Nigeria, Hausa, Muslims, Christian, everybody live together at a point in time? Look, what are you saying now? Why are you saying as if you just woke up one morning now? We grew up in an environment. That's what I'm saying, because there are people who make money from chaos. There are people who make money from misfortune. So when they wipe that content, that emotions up, they make it so that the more people are confused, the more wicked people thrive. So they like the confusion. Let's go back now. Just cast your mind back. There was a time everybody was at peace. We all were comfortable. Wasn't that there was no difference then? There were differences, but we respected the differences and honored one another. So the idea, that's why I say I talk about education. People spot who we are. So it's our duty now to reorient ourselves and bring us back to that position. That's why for me, nothing else apart from education. Look, build all the road in Nigeria. As long as an average Nigerian doesn't feel he's Nigerian, he will mess that road up.
But again, can we say it is a case of illiteracy when the people themselves that the high and mighty are using to perpetrate evil in order to reposition themselves in position of power? Do you not think that there's a problem with the people, or can we assume it is a case of illiteracy, or I don't know?
Illiteracy is not a problem.
So what is it with the people?
No, it's not. Hausa people have one adage that say that if you cook for the people will finish the food. If the people cook for you, you cannot finish the food. Meaning that if collectively we come together and agree on a particular standard, you see, one of the things we lost as a people is that we lost standard. I remember when I was young, I came home with 2 biros. My mom beat me now. Where did you get the 2 biros? We gave you one. Just biro in school. You have to explain why did you get 2 biros. Do you understand? Yeah. Standards and morals was a balance. That's what it used to be. There was a time they called the village will raise a child. Do you know why? Because everybody has one standard. So whatever you say was wrong, the other man will say is wrong. Another man will say is wrong. So if you turn this way, everybody's fighting. Yeah. But do you know what we have lost? We have lost standards. Even the Christians lost standard of their Christianity. Muslim lost standard of their Islam. So at the end of the day, we accommodate thieves, accommodate liars, accommodate people who are not living the proper life.
Just accommodating, worship them. See
So
the praise.
fine. So at the end of the day, what do you expect if you worship evil? How can the world be good to you? It's not possible. So while I agree that there's a lot of illiteracy on the table, the challenge also, how about the people who claim that they love Nigeria? They should come out and support people, to become literate, to read, to build schools, to support people learn programs. You have a station here. How many persons who truly say they believe in Nigeria, knowing your position as ASO TV here, that walk up to you and ask you, look, we want to reorient Nigerians. Even though for nothing, this is what I want to support with. I'm going to do my CRS, my civil responsibility. I'm going to take a percentage to give you. Orient Nigeria so that we'll get a better Nigeria. How many? But the same people will sit down and tell you, we don't understand Nigeria. Nigeria is not working very well. The youngs are not doing very well. It's easy to complain. Talk is cheap. Anyone who truly believes in Nigeria will make a move to build Nigeria. That's why I have a rule. And my rule is this. There's nothing like a good person that does not do good. If you're a good person, you must invest in pushing good. Why? Because evil people consistently invest in pushing evil. So you who claim to be good, invest in pushing good. If you see a platform and opportunity, invest in it. Look, this thing is a game of, do you want the country to be better? It will be better. I can tell you something. UAE, Dubai. The ChatGPT, professional ChatGPT that Nigerians are struggling to subscribe to, every basic school student in the whole of Dubai has ChatGPT, professional one, paid by the government.
You don't mean it? Paid by who?
By the government. Just paid for it so that all of them will access the world. Do you know why? Because they have a vision. If you read the book The Prince by Matum, there's a comment he made. He said for him, this is how the world is. Every morning the antelope wakes up and in his mind he believes that he needs to outrun the lion for him to be alive. Every morning the lion wakes up, he needs to outrun the antelope so that he can see food to eat. So every morning the lion wakes up with a different mindset, the antelope wakes up with a different mindset. They have decided to be the lion of the global community. So they must be the one to dictate things. So that's what I meant by vision. So with that kind of vision, you see now, curriculum must be designed to meet that vision. Education designed to meet that vision. Even politics must be designed to meet that vision. You see that organization. But because we don't have that clarity of vision, anybody can wake up and say, I want to be a president, I don't want to be a governor. But what do we use in measuring the person? Is it the English? Is it the money? What do we use? We must have the standard to say, no, you can't come. Your morals don't suit the kind of Nigeria we want. Your personality does not suit. Yes, you may have money, but please keep your money. We want some high standard people. We have intelligent, creative, innovative people to come into the system so that they can build the kind of Nigeria we want. You see, only that alone has changed election. Hope you know. Only that alone will sieve people who are not supposed to be in the system, and then we'll have the few who have what it takes, and then we'll now go, okay, what's your manifesto? This is our dream. In the next 10 years, this is where we want to be. Give us something that will take us there. We can start challenging them. But if you don't have anything you can do, at best you do personality. That's why you go to radio stations and television stations. We are marketing personality. No, I like this one. This one is good. This one is from this part. We are not discussing process and structure. I believe that's why we're having this kind of discussion. Yeah. To be able to dig deep to what makes a nation. Not the story that looks busy. No, there are things that make people build a nation. And I'll end by saying this. Most people don't understand that Nigeria can become the best country in 10 years. And I'll explain to you how it works. It took Europe, UK, close to about 760 to 800 years to develop. Because of the lessons they learned from them, it took US 400 years. Because of the lessons they learned from them, it takes Singapore 65 years. Because of the lesson they learned from them, it took China 35 years. Because of the lessons they learned from this, it took Dubai 20 years. So if you learn from principles, structures, systems here, 10 years, we fix Nigeria. But Nigerians have to be healthy for you to fix Nigeria. That's my position.
Nigeria has to be healthy.
Nigerians
themselves.
The people have to be well.
As a people that are saddled with the responsibility, all of us believe in Nigeria. For those of us that believe in Nigeria and that we are here to build a sustainable economic development for us and for the future of our children. So what do you think? Can you just highlight 1, 2, 3? This is what we must do to get it right. You were just giving an illustration of countries, Dubai, America, UK and the rest of them, how they learned lessons from other people's experience and they got it. What lessons do you think Nigerians will learn from all those other countries in order to get it right for the sake of our lives and the lives of the future generation, especially when it has to do with economic growth and development of the nation?
I think sometimes we are very wrong when we put so much emphasis on economy when we're not putting so much emphasis on character and discipline. Because see, character and discipline will destroy any economic process you put.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
You call people to supervise a ministry. At the end of the day, the ministry was supposed to help people develop. Then at the end of the day, you are discussing who stole money, who don't steal money. Tell me how will the ministry impact? That's what I'm saying. So economy is not the issue. Business is not the issue. These things are what we call consequences. You do the right thing, some things consequentially shall happen. If you have a young person believe in Nigeria, you will tap into their creativity. Every solution, look, let me give you a simple analysis on problem solving. We have 200 and something million Nigerians.
Over 200 million.
Over, yes. On the average, every one person have the capacity to solve a problem. So I want to ask you, how many problems you have in Nigeria you think Nigeria cannot solve? So you realize we can solve, no matter what it looks like a problem. But the issue is that the people who can bring that solution don't believe in the country. So what do? They just jackpot with it. And the next thing you hear, oh, this guy came to the US and is doing well. Why? Because he has come to a system where he believes. And why will he believe in that system? The system making them safe. They understand in that system, even if they sacrifice, they will not go empty-handed. So they understand this principle, so they give their best. And that's why for me, the emphasis still remains. Build Nigerians first, then build Nigeria.
But if I may ask, do you think Nigerians themselves are ready? I am asking this question on the backdrop of the fact that most young Nigerians today are only interested in politics. No. Where they think that they can just make the money overnight. How do we reorientate their belief system?
Remember what I said, God creates, society manufactures. We are the one that taught them to do politics. I can give you the step-by-step guide. How we
reorientate.
Fine. Now we should be talking about. Because averagely, the young person, you told the young guy, go to school. Young woman, go to school. Do it well. Get a good certificate. Get a good job. The person finishes, get to school. At the point he comes to the good certificate, gives you, suddenly you say, oh, your tribe. Suddenly you say, oh, your religion. And then suddenly the next is that, we can get to this job, look for one big politician to get it. And so he gets to realize that we reward politicians. And so after a while, he loses interest in learning. Because who do we reward? Who do we give awards? Who do we give front tables? Who do we call for, lunch, and everybody's clapping for? It's the politician. And it's called modeling in parenting. A child sees the parents, oh, this is what they are doing. It seems this is what Nigerians understand. Well, if that's what they understand, therefore, I should be a politician. So it is the society we build that build the youth that we have. If we change our standards and process, the youth also will change. It's the rule.
Our time is well spent. But let me ask this question.
Okay.
The last lap. That assuming you are Mr. President, how else do you think you will? What else do you think you will do differently to ensuring that we have a good psyche and we believe in the Nigeria of today and tomorrow?
I will invest 30% of everything Nigeria makes into educating Nigerians.
Okay.
I'll pour all into it. It's one or nothing. There's no two way about it because there's no shortcut. It's one or nothing. China educated themselves into where they are today. Singapore educated themselves into where. So if you cannot educate Nigerians, different level, different strata, even the people in the village. Do you know in China they have what they call province industry? Everybody's talking about China. Every local government in China is good for one thing. Some people for gym, some for t-shirt, some for plastic. Do you know there was a time we had our 774 local government, there was a time we have each farm produce, agricultural product for each local government. So assuming we invest in it that way, so that everybody in the world knows that every local government is an expert and a master in an area. So imagine the people that are doing reedy, for instance. There you have reedy farms, the best of reedy farms. Here you have reedy processing, reedy expert, consultant. You just know if you come to this local government, it's just ready to the end. Do you know what will happen to that local government?
No. What will happen?
It will blow. Because the whole world will come. The world always come towards people who provide value and expertise. That's why I keep using the word education. The thing with us is that we want to put the horse before the cart. education, either education or you forget it. And that's why any country that wants to be stayed behind, the first thing they deal with them is education. Many they mess your education up. To be honest with you, you can be arguing, you get angry, bitter, you get emotional, conflict, confusion is your business. But when you are educated to learn how processes and structures work, then you know how to use even the challenges and make the best out of it.
For those that have used nepotism and religiosity,
like I said,
what can
there are people who do business with troubles. There are people who make money out of conflict. There are people who make money out of confusion. That is what they are like, crisis merchandise, entrepreneur. That's their business. Even when there's no problem, they walk in here, they look between us in the studio here and then create something. Just so that that confusion will give room for people to enter. There's an adage that says when two brothers fight, it's a stranger that inherits their property. So the more we are fighting, the more people outside are coming and taking things from us on all the parts of Nigeria. Don't think it's only one part. Zamfara gold is being taken from outside. Every area you're getting, things that are happening even in the middle belt, half of them also have to go with resources going. Go to the east, resources are leaving. So the key word is that when you cause crisis among families, they get busy fighting and then they don't know how to develop, they don't know how to harness, they don't know how to make the wealth of the nation to be their own. That's why for me education matters, because with education you will listen and make a good judgment and make a sound judgment. So if somebody brings what is not at par with standard, you can stop it. But if you are not educated, if you are not exposed, you become a victim. So we are victim of ignorance. And that's why I'm a strong advocate of educate the nation. I don't mean 2-3 primary school paint them, no. I mean do a solid program where you have young people being educated and the rest. Obviously, I give it to the present government. They've started what they call TVET. And I think technology, innovation and vocational training, which they say almost all polytechnics or so are going to be converted to vocational center. But you see, it's beyond handwork. There's what they call the head-heart matrix. The hand is for skill, the head is for thinking, the heart is for belief. So if there is no patriotism in the heart, I will use your skill for evil in Nigeria. But patriotism is what will be somebody give you money and say, go and burn down TV. Say, no. Do you know what I get from them? I'm not going anywhere. But there must be patriotism, otherwise you use your skill for evil. So for me, it's not the vocation that's the problem. It's train, equip people to think, so that when you give them an alternative to destroy the country, they will tell you no. It's like, where will I go? This is my choice. Even if I travel, I'll still come back. So at the end of the day, I can't destroy this beautiful country. So for me, education, to be honest, from now till next tomorrow, education is the only thing I know. Build people that build their way. Build people, they will solve their problem. But if you don't build them, every other thing is a confusion.
All right. Build people and people will build their way. Build people and they will stop the confusion. Education is the way out. If we don't stop fighting each other, the more we fight each other, the more our resources are carted away by strangers. And that is the opinion of my guest. And with that, we have come to the end of today's program. The guest we have been speaking with is a business analyst and is a human capital engineer and an advocate of national cake. Maybe in our next edition you tell us what national cake is all about. My guest is Mr. Victor Prince Dickson. Victor, I want to thank you so much for honoring our invitation.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. And to our esteemed audience out there, we sincerely appreciate your time for staying on. Enjoy the rest of our programming. I am Ile. It may just saying good day to you.